Hey everyone, Mehdi here. Welcome back to my channel. So in my last video, we built this really smart data agent in Microsoft Fabric. If you missed that one, check out the link right up here. Definitely worth watching first. So we created this agent that basically knows everything about AdventureWorks company's data. Things like customer sales, loyalty programs, promotion, and real-time package delivery tracking data. But here's the thing. After we built this, we met with the sales team and they said, okay, this is great and all, but how do we actually use this? And that got me thinking, what if they could just use it right inside Microsoft Teams? So picture this. They open up Teams, add the agent like they would with any other team member, and just ask questions like, how are Q3 sales looking? Or which loyalty program is performing best right now? And boom, the agent answers on the spot. No building custom apps, no wrestling with complicated integrations, just Teams doing what it does best. That's exactly what we are covering today. By the end of this video, we're gonna know how to set up Copilot Studio agent, connect it to our Fabric data agent, get it working in Teams, configure who can access it, whether it is specific user, groups, or the whole organization, and finally, publish the whole thing. Sounds good? All right, let's dive in. So first thing first, we need to check a couple of prerequisites. We need to have a working agent. That's the first condition. Remember the agent we built earlier? It had access to 3 key data sources. So the first one is a lakehouse where we have selected table about our customer, products, and promotions. So here we go. There is a couple of tables that we did select from our last video. The second source is a semantic model containing everything related to our customer loyalty program, and an event house with real-time event about package deliveries. So let's test if everything is working fine. So I'm have a testing question here. I'm gonna ask him. So when and where our package with this reference was delivered? So the answer should be coming from our event house data source. And here we go. The agent gives us exactly the answer we need. Now moving on to our next prerequisite. We need to make sure the agent is published so it can be accessed from outside Microsoft Fabric. So remember from our last video, we did publish our agent. So we can see here, we can switch to the published version that we're gonna use in the rest of our video. All right, now we're gonna head up to Copilot Studio. So what is this thing? Well, Microsoft Copilot Studio is basically Microsoft Playground for building AI agent without code. So it's a no-code solution. It's the best option out there today if you are not a developer and want to build AI agents yourself. So here's why it's really awesome. You're actually working with the latest and greatest OpenAI models, so your agent can have accurate conversation. And get this, it's all drag and drop, so no coding requirements. So anyone can start building agent right now. When you need to use your data at some point, you can hook it up to SharePoint databases on pretty much any system your company uses. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your agent don't just chat, they can actually do things. Trigger workflows, for example, send emails, you name it, different options you have. And when you are done building, you can deploy it anywhere, your website, Teams, and this is actually the option we're going to use today, or mobile applications. Plenty of options available today out of the box. Now, quick heads up, this isn't a free tool. You'll need at some point a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, or a standalone Copilot Studio license, or Central Power Platform license. The good news is there is a free trial. So if you don't have a license yet, and that's okay, grab that trial and follow along with me. All right, so the first thing we're gonna need to do is to make sure the right AI environment is selected. So an environment is really the space or the workspace that is used to create, store, and work with agents. In our case here, I have only one, which is the Contoso environment. It is selected. Then we need to start working on our agent. So I'm going to head to the Create button. And here we have a couple of options. So you can either install Managed Agent, leverage agent templates, or build an agent from scratch. See, you don't need to start from a blank page. So with Managed Agents, you can pick from a list of pre-configured agents that Microsoft has created for you. Microsoft will make sure to keep them up to date with the latest models and features. Or you can use templates. So the templates are basically blueprints for specific use cases. They can be predefined structure and functionalities that you can customize to fit your needs. Or in our case, we're gonna start from scratch. So here the idea is to use our little Fabric agent that we need to put to work. So I'm gonna go to the new agent section. So our soon to be created agent will need a name and a description, which we'll provide here. So we'll go to configure and we need to give it a name. So in my case, I'm gonna call it Adventure Work Sales Agent. And for the description, Adventure Work Sales Agent is a custom agent designed to answer questions about customer sales, loyalty programs, product promotion, and package delivery event within the Adventure Work data source. So it's basically the data sources that are reachable by our data agent. So let's create this agent. All right. So our brand new Copilot Studio agent currently has the bare minimum configuration. Its only knowledge source is an LLM. And by the way, the LLM by default is the GPT 4.0. So let's bump it to the GPT-5 chat, which is great for most tasks. And now the next step will be to connect it to our Fabric agent. To clarify, our main agent is the Copilot Studio agent we are currently configuring. So this one. The goal here is to connect it to our external Fabric data agent so it can use it as a tool. What's awesome with Copilot Studio is that you can build multi-agent solutions by connecting different agents to work together and achieve complex tasks. In this case, our Copilot Studio agent can decide to call the Fabric agent wherever a question is related to customer sales, loyalty program, or package delivery. All right, now we need to connect our Fabric data agent. So we need to head into the agent section and add a new agent. So here we need to choose to connect to an external agent, which is Microsoft Fabric. To be able to select the agent we created previously, we need to connect to our Microsoft Fabric instance. By the way, there is a couple of prerequisites that are important to need to take into consideration. So both the Fabric data agent and Microsoft Copilot Studio agent must be in the same tenant. This is mandatory. If it's not possible, we will not be able to see the agents that you built. The second prerequisite is that you need to sign into both Microsoft Fabric and Microsoft Copilot Studio with the same account that has access to the data agent. So same tenant, same account. If you can do that, you're good to go. All right, so we need to establish a connection to our Microsoft Fabric. So we need to create a connection. I already created a connection. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to create a new one. To create the connection, I need to authenticate with my account. And then once authenticated, we can have the list or all the available agents in my Fabric instance that I can use. So in my case, I have only one, which is the one that we built previously. So I'm going to select it, give it a name. So I'm going to leave the default one, my Fabric Sales Agent, which is the same name that is used in the data agent in Fabric. And for the description, I'm gonna add this description. So the description says that this is an agent designed to answer questions about customer sales, loyalty, product promotion, and package delivery event from the Adventure Works data source. All right, we're gonna save it. We are almost done configuring the Copilot Studio agent. We have one important security setting left to configure. What identity should our Fabric data agent use when accessing the Fabric data sources? Should it use the identity of the user currently using Copilot Studio or a predefined identity? In my case, I have decided to go with the user identity so that the Fabric data agent respects the same data access permission as the user. Just make sure to grant the appropriate access roles to users or user groups who need access to the Fabric data agent and its attached data sources. Okay, let's save this configuration and publish our agent. All right, before going any further, let's test it out. So I'm going to ask the same question we asked earlier to our Fabric data agent and see if it can leverage it correctly. So the question here is, when and where was the package with this reference delivered? What we see here is that our Copilot Studio agent recognizes our Fabric data agent as an MCP server with a tool, essentially to understand what our data agent can do, and it leverages it to answer our question. So the response is correct. All right, final step. We're gonna deploy our agent to Teams. So I'm gonna head to the Channel tab. As you can see here, there is multiple options to deploy our agent to. I'm focusing on Teams here. I'm also disabling the agent availability in Microsoft 365 Copilot. So I'm just focusing on deploying it to Teams, not to Microsoft 365 Copilot. And first step is to add it to this channel. Okay, it's enabled. Now we need to configure the availability. So there is two options. Either we make our agent available to a subset of users in our organization, to specific users or specific groups. We can do so by selecting the right group or users to give them availability to this agent. So in my case, let's say I created a group called sales, so I can add directly the group here, and I give him permissions. So by default is the viewer permission. That means that these users can have access to my agent, or I can choose to deploy it to the entire organization. So this is the option I'm gonna choose. This is just a demonstration, so I'm gonna show you how to do it. So I'm gonna go back to Teams, choose the availability, and show to everyone in my organization. So this option needs an approval from the team's administrator. So I'm going to submit for admin approval. And as you can see, this needs an approval. So let's say I'm also a Teams administrator. So I'm going to move into the Teams admin center, inspect what are the requests, pending requests I have. So let me reload the page and I'm going to see how many pending approval there is. So it's one. So to select this one, I need to go and filter by the custom application needing approval. So by default, the request is blocked. So as an administrator, I can unblock it by publishing it. That means that I'm allowing this Copilot application to be available to every user in my organization. So this is basically what I just did. And just for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm gonna open Teams on the web version. All right. So it's asking me to add this agent. Basically, Teams sees it as an application. That's it. Now I can start asking him questions. So I'm going to ask him the same question that I asked before. And the most sold product in 2014 was Mountain Tire Tube, which has the highest total sales volume. That's right. It's working. Let's ask another question. When and where the package with this reference was delivered? All right, package with this reference was delivered on August 3rd, 2014 in Seattle. Okay, that's really great. It's working. So there you have it. We just built an agent in Copilot Studio that leverages a Microsoft Fabric Data Agent as a tool to answer questions about customer sales, loyalty program, product promotion, and package delivery events. And the best part is we were able to share it with the entire organization with the help of our Teams administrator, although we could have easily restricted it to a specific team if you wanted to. Fantastic, right? So yeah, that's everything for today. Hope you find it helpful. A like and subscribe will be so much appreciated. So thanks again and see you on the next one.